Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. You've got a story to share, a message to inspire, and a passion ready to ignite. But where do you start? The world is waiting for your voice. With From Idea to Implementation, Start Your Own Podcast, you'll get the roadmap to turn your vision into reality. This isn't just a course, it's your launching pad. Step by step, we'll break down the process from defining your purpose to recording your first episode so you can finally share your voice with confidence. Stop overthinking it and start doing it. Your voice has the power to connect and lead. Are you ready to use it? Join the waitlist today. Your podcast journey starts now. The world is waiting. You can find the link to sign up for the waitlist in the show notes. We'll see you soon. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Cari Frame. She is a self-kindness coach and a writer. Welcome, Cari. How are you?
I'm good, Brad. I'm really good. We finally have spring here where I live.
We're sitting pretty chilly today. The sun is out periodically, but it's a little chilly here today. It is what it is. We'll get into spring soon enough. So I am just happy to have you here and excited to jump right in and share a little bit about the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do and a bit about your story and your journey. So with that being said, let us jump right in. Okay. I would love to know, Cari, what was the catalyst which led you to focus your work on self-kindness, and how has your own journey shaped both you and the work you do today?
Great question. In some ways, the two parts of the question are related. So before I was a professional coach, I've done lots of different kinds of work, but one thing that was always going on with me was I was fighting a battle inside my own mind. I was super, super hard on myself. Any bit of negativity or anything would be my sole focus on trying to fix it and people please from it and all that stuff. And when I was a new mother, I just about went downhill completely with my mental health. Like I really was struggling. The thoughts in my head that were saying like, you're a terrible mother. And no matter how hard I tried, and the baby was like completely fine, but I couldn't seem to get over that. So I got really great help. And that really set me on the path of realizing how powerful it is when we take charge of our relationship to ourselves. And at the same time that I'd always been struggling with it in my own mind, I was always also the first person to be able to go to someone else and help them connect to their inner strength or hear the words that they needed to say or that they needed to hear to find the strength to keep going and stuff. Once I really took charge of my own mental health, I realized, wow, I think this is the work that I'm supposed to do, because I'm called to be there for people in those really difficult moments, and then having the professional skills to bring to that and to back that up. So that's really how I got into it. And I actually started as a nutrition coach. Yeah, because my relationship to my body, and therefore, of course, my relationship to food was all over the charts, like so many people. Yeah. And that really affected my whole life. And so I thought, if I can help people have a great relationship with food, then, that will help. But I very quickly realized, you know what? The people I'm drawn to work with and who are drawn to me, it is not about the food. It's not. It's about everything that goes deeper than the food. So that's when I went back to school. I studied psychology for a while, but I didn't follow that path because for me, it's a very worthy path, but I wanted to be able to focus on where people are in this moment and how to move them to the next moment. And so that's coaching in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
So that set me on the path of going to the most rigorous coach school in the world, and great one, by the way, for anybody that's interested in that. And then as I'm working with people, and over the years, I have tracked what makes a difference, what sets someone on a sustainable path of progress, and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And the overriding results have been that when someone starts to take charge of their relationship to themselves, it almost doesn't matter what the surface problem was to start with, is improved almost by proxy of the deeper work getting done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So for me, if you can go deeper and solve problems at a more long-term level, then that's the place to go. It just makes so much sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First, it's always easier to help and support others. Secondly, we are our own and hardest critics. We are toughest on ourselves. And thirdly, that relationship with self is the longest standing and most important relationship we will ever have throughout our entire lifetime. So you need to get right with yourself and cherish that relationship and nurture that relationship with self, because that also impacts and sends ripple effect out to the people around you when you do that. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you personally define self-kindness? What does that phrase mean to you?
Yeah, so self-kindness to me means actually very much like what you just said. Building a practice of bringing the level of care and attention and compassion to yourself that you very naturally bring to other people. And I think of it like a practice because we have such a powerful mental habit of being hard on ourselves. We have to counterbalance that with a very mindful practice of, no, I'm going to relate to myself with kindness and a lack of judgment. And I just really want to understand myself so that I can then choose actions from that place of understanding. And part of why self-kindness is my focus too is because kindness is active. So compassion is in some ways a little bit more theoretical, right? It's like a state of mind and so on. Kindness, we bring that compassion into action, and it's in action where we truly feel different in our lives. Plus, for me, actually, sometimes when someone says, I don't know if anybody's ever said this to you, but you just need to love yourself. You just need to love yourself more. And I'm like, yeah, but
Absolutely.
How the heck do I do that when all I can do is focus on what's wrong with me?
Yeah, the negativity, the other side of things. It's a tough journey to get there, but you need to do the work in order to achieve that. And everybody needs to do that work.
Yeah.
Because we are the foundation for everything. It all starts here within us.
We're powerful. We're so powerful.
For sure.
Yeah.
What is one belief about self-kindness that you once held but have since unlearned through the work that you do?
So I grew up in a classically Scottish, British family where self-sacrifice was like the highest virtue, especially for women, right? When you're sacrificing yourself to the well-being of others, you're doing the best that you're supposed to do. And so the idea of bringing attention and care and kindness to myself seemed like the opposite of that, right? It seemed, well, that's me being selfish. That's me not bringing care to others. Ultimately, that's me trending towards being a bad person. And so what I have truly not just believed, but seen in practice is when you're a good person and you bring true care and kindness to yourself, the only outcome is that you become more of the particular good person that you are built to be. There's nothing selfish about it. There's nothing that makes you give less. In fact, it opens you up to so much more resilience and capacity that when you have a natural trend to bringing care, or even if it's through your work or whatever, right? You're only going to have more of that when you deeply take care of yourself. And that's a huge, it's a hurdle that I work with clients on, like almost every time we get started together, because there's that thought inside that says, if you focus on this, you're not going to be the type of good person that you think you're supposed to be.
There's all the conditioning that we have received around when we put ourselves first or when we do things, that's selfish. And we need to shift the thinking and the mindset around that, because think about it. If you put yourself first, and we should put ourselves above our kids, above our spouses, first and foremost, because then that also fills us up, which then, of course, in turn, gives us the space and the ability to be more for those people that we love in our lives, for those people around us in our lives. So it's not selfish, but with all the conditioning that we've received, that's what we've been taught. And it's completely the opposite. We need to put ourselves first.
Yeah. Yep. It's
for sure.
It's a huge misnomer that holds a lot of people back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Cari, what are some simple, practical ways that people can start practicing self-kindness daily that you can share with the audience that they can immediately begin to implement?
Yeah, I think it relates to another misnomer too, which is that if you're really going to bring care to yourself, it takes lots of time, it takes lots of money, you have to wait till all the circumstances line up and so on. But that doesn't work, right? We have to bring it to ourselves, like in any situation. Let me see. I think my number one suggestion is to implement check-ins with yourself throughout the day. Okay. Usually when people are finding their well-being is going off the rails and they're getting completely out of touch with themselves and their health is off, the choices they're making are off, all that kind of stuff. A lot of times it's because they have put their own well-being and even noticing it totally on that back burner that they never get to. And then it often becomes something they're scared to look at because it's, I haven't really checked in with myself for a long time. Oh my God, what am I going to find if I actually look at it? So I love just like a 5-minute check-in. And sometimes it can be helpful to do it, split it up a little bit. If you think of it like checking in with your mind, your body, and your spirit. And so in order to do that, you have to stop everything for about 3 minutes. So even for the busiest person, I say, okay, where is there 3 minutes? And they'll be like, maybe before I start my next meeting or whatever. There's 3 minutes in there somewhere. And then you just check in, and it's really like you're asking each part of yourself, how am I doing? And ideally also being able to listen for, what do I need? Mind, how am I doing? Oh, I'm all over the place. I'm trying to think of 7 different things at once. I'm burnt out, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I don't have to solve it. This isn't about solving everything you find. It's just an acknowledgement, which is huge, because when we just acknowledge how we're doing, all our stress systems actually come down. It's amazing. Like, we're so powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then checking with your body and listening to your body, like, how's it doing? And this is a big one for people. I work with a lot of people on weight loss journeys and stuff where they're so used to just looking for problems and judgment on how their body's doing, to look at their body with kindness and just go, just like you would with a good friend. Okay, body, how are you doing right now? Oh, okay, my lower back's a little sore. I've been sitting for a long time, so my butt's kind of screaming at me or whatever. And it's okay. Okay, body, I hear you. I care about you, and I hear what you're saying. And then spirit is pretty much whatever part of you isn't your body and it isn't your mind. It's that, for each person, it's defined differently. So I think it's best to leave that up to the person. But checking in with that and saying, okay, spirit, how are you doing? Oh, wow, my spirit is so hard to hear right now because, man, I haven't listened for a while.
Yeah.
My spirit's wanting my attention. Okay. Thank you, spirit. I hear you. And then if you have time, okay, of those 3 levels, what is one area where I can bring an act of kindness to that level of my being in the next hour? And that is key, because usually what we do is we give ourselves something that's too big. Yeah. I should restart that gym membership or something. And it's okay, but that's going to send you into overwhelm, because now you're like, I have to decide which one and I have to blah, blah, blah. No, pick some act of kindness to bring to one of those levels of your being in the next hour. And then do it and see how you feel, because that's those little micro acts. If you do them every day, you'll start doing them more than once a day. And then all of a sudden
it just becomes second nature, becomes a habit.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Cari. Now, in your opinion, is there a balance between holding yourself accountable and being kind to yourself?
Oh, that's a juicy question. I like that question. Yeah. Okay, let me think about it. So where my mind is going is, okay, so if you're really kind to yourself, it's almost like you're letting yourself off the hook. It's okay. You're fine. Let's do something nice for yourself. And as opposed to holding yourself accountable, which can bring in the judgment and the criticism and all that stuff. So I guess my mind is going to self-forgiveness. So when we are hard on ourselves about something, sometimes we hold ourselves on the hook for that and we make ourselves like overly, endlessly accountable. And we're just making ourselves feel bad for making that mistake or whatever over and over again. And that cycle never finishes. So the balance between accountability and self-kindness is you have to own what belongs to you. You have to truly own it. And then if you've made a mistake or there's something to be accountable for, you have to fully own it, learn from it, follow through on that learning, and then forgive yourself.
Release it.
I think that's where the kindness and the accountability come together. Because, you have to take ownership, but don't hold yourself, don't beat yourself up forever, because that's just...
And we tend to do that. Yeah, we tend to be very hard on ourselves. And we tend to hold on to that stuff.
Yeah. And we think that's what being a good person is. Oh, I'm supposed to feel bad about this because I made this mistake or whatever. That's what being a good person is. But you need to complete the cycle and get to the other side of I own it, I did it, I learned from it.
Now I've released it.
And now I've released myself from it. Yeah, man.
Sure.
The weight on us.
They're put on ourselves.
Yes.
I think we tend to make things out to be a lot worse than they actually are. We do that in our heads. We do that in our own minds.
So true.
How has your relationship with your inner critic changed since becoming a self-kindness coach?
Yes. So a lot of what changed with my relationship with my inner critic changed before I really started doing the work with other people. But it's every day too. Like it's a process. Yeah. So I would say when it was at its worst, my inner critic was like a megaphone of blackness, just like blaring in my mind. And I was in a perpetual battle to try to push it off, to try to believe in myself, it was just constant. And it was exhausting. It was so tiring because also I kept it. It was a secret. Nobody knew. Nobody knew that I was struggling with this. I seemed like such a positive person, right? Because I didn't want to put it on anybody. And now I would say my inner critic is like a mosquito that is just going in and it's trying to get in there. It's trying to be the only thing I can listen to. And in some ways trying to take the wheel of my life and say, I know where you should go and what you should do and not do and all that stuff. And I can feel it. I can notice it. And in some ways, I think of it like I don't hate it because it's a part of me. And our inner critics will always be a part of us. It's just part of how our brain works. Yeah, I think of it like this pathetic little guy that just doesn't know all of what I am, but just feels like he does. So I'm like, I know you're trying to protect me. I know. But right now, I need you to shut up because I got stuff to do. And then, so there's like tough love.
But at least you have the self-awareness to recognize when it's coming in order to stop it so that it doesn't get too caught up in there.
And honestly, Brad, sometimes I will go hours where I'm like, oh God, why do I feel so terrible? And then I realize, oh, wow, there was some kind of just subtle enough critic that was running like the Wizard of Oz, like from behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And I wasn't fully noticing because I was busy doing stuff, but it was building. And at a level, I was listening to it and being affected by it. So it still happens to me sometimes too, but that's a small setback, right? Of a few hours.
You now have the tools to know how to use them and know how to use them in order to turn the volume down when that inner critic is starting with the megaphone.
Yes.
You can turn it down much quicker. And that's what it's about and which I'm sure you do for your clients as well, is equip them with the tools to learn how to quiet that megaphone or turn the volume down when it does start to get too loud.
You got it. Yeah.
Can you talk about the connection between self-kindness and resilience? How does one feed the other?
Yes. Like I said and for those that are listening and relate to it, when you've got this inner battle going on, it's adding a level of difficulty and effort to life that is on top of all of the efforts of life. Right? So there's the stuff that comes at us from external, and then there's the stuff that we're dealing with internally. And sometimes the stuff that's coming at us externally is a lot, right?
Yeah,
life
for sure.
hits us with a lot of stuff. And when you are constantly fighting a battle within you that is using up your resources and telling you that you're not worthy and that you're not good enough and you're not going to be able to do this and all that stuff, the resilience you have to handle the things that come at you externally is always less, right? And when you start to build self-kindness and you're taking that deep care of yourself, automatically, like I said, some of your stress systems come down without even meaning to. Some naturally helpful actions will come in, like you might move more, you might drink more water, here's a big one. You might be able to receive the love or the care that's coming at you from other people. You actually be able to receive it more. Because so often when we're hard on ourselves and people bring us love or care, we actually push it away. Yeah. And then we don't get to rebuild ourselves from it because we pushed it off because we don't think we deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all of those things are rebuilding your inner resilience. So then when, the stuff hits the fan, I don't know if you can swear on this podcast.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
The shit hits the fan. And you have built your inner resilience from not being so constantly hard on yourself and from the natural care that has come through actions. You have so much more resilience. Another thing too that's coming up in my mind is self-kindness leads to self-trust. Start to trust your ability to handle things and you trust that, you know what, when I'm making this choice, I know that whatever comes from this choice will be what it's supposed to be because it's come from a place inside that I trust.
Absolutely.
So again, that brings resilience because you're not second guessing and making all of these alternate actions that you're not sure about and all that. So, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What is one question you would encourage people to ask themselves when they're being too hard on themselves?
I love this question because it's one of my favorite tools. First off, you have to notice that you're being hard on yourself. So everything starts with awareness, right? They'd have to go, God, why do I feel so rotten? Or like, why is that nerve in my neck getting so pinchy again or something, right? They'd have to notice what's going on with them. And then just pull back from the moment and go, what is my mind trying to tell me about me right now? And you're just looking inside. I feel like crap. I wonder what my mind is trying to tell me about me right now. Oh my gosh, my mind is trying to tell me that because I burnt the breakfast and my kids were a little hungry going to school that I'm a terrible person. Right. Yeah. Wow, God, that's what's making me feel terrible right now. So that would be the question because it leads to understanding, which can lead to the solutions, that often whatever your mind is telling you about you, if it feels deeply negative, 99% of the time, it's not factual.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a story that we've created in our heads. It's not really there. It doesn't exist, which again ties back to everything about how we are so much harder on ourselves and we don't give ourselves grace and space, and that we've created these stories that aren't even real. They aren't even true.
Not. God, our brain is so powerful to work
It is.
with us
It is.
and against
Yes,
us.
absolutely. What is one small act of kindness that, if practiced consistently, could create profound change?
So this one is not a straightforward answer in some ways, because what feels like kindness, what feels like self-kindness to each person is different. So I would say looking for small actions that bring you peace, bring you joy, allow you to receive the goodness that's around you. Whatever led to that is an act of self-kindness that you should replicate.
Okay.
So yeah, sometimes I'm mindful of, I can't know necessarily. I had a client that she gave herself permission to just listen to the birds in the morning. And when she did that, her entire day had more grace, more resilience, because it set her up to feed her spirit, which she was never giving herself permission to do. And,
wow.
And how could I have known that was going to be the thing, right?
But it's something so simple and small.
Simple. But when she really let it in, it just fed her at such a deep level, and it built her sense of, oh, I deserve good things, and I deserve to take care of myself. And then the rest of the day was obviously not perfect, but there was a core.
You've set a tone.
Yeah,
you've set a tone for the day. That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. What are some of the unseen wounds most women carry that self-kindness gently begins to heal?
Unseen wounds, that's a great term. The one that's coming to my mind, I mean, there's a lot, but for so many of us, our relationship to our bodies is encouraged from such a young age to be one of criticism and judgment, and our bodies are never good enough. And as the vessel that we move within every single moment of our lives, to feel like this is something that I hate and that I am trying to fix, I think that is an area that self-kindness really has a huge impact on, because it relates to everything, right? Like you brought in resilience. Man, when you are working against your body, it affects everything. And I work with a lot of people who have gone through weight loss surgery or long-term weight loss journey. They have never been taught or encouraged to improve their relationship to themselves. They've only ever been told, okay, are you getting enough protein? And maybe you just need to go back on that liquid diet for another week. And maybe you just need to amp up the amount of exercise. And right. And it's all about, I agree with you that this is a problem, and I am providing professional support on how to help you fix this problem. Yeah. And so the work that I get to do with them is to say, in this body, in this moment, you are worthy of love and care and kindness. And we're going to work at a micro level to help you give that to yourself, to build that sense of self. And the wild thing is, the external challenges start to find their own solutions. Because when you care about yourself and you just want to be good to yourself, man, you're going to enjoy that food when you eat it. You're not just going to eat it mindlessly, and you're going to get out for that night of dancing or something, because you're feeding yourself joy rather than fixing a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I
love that.
It's a big one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's one misconception about self-kindness that you believe is doing more harm than good?
Because we already talked about the one about it making you a selfish person. So definitely there. I think another one is that it has to be acted on in big ways in order for it to count. It's that all or nothing mindset that says, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go from having a ton of self-loathing, like all I can think about is being a critic, to loving myself and speaking mantras of love to myself all day. It's a beautiful idea, but ultimately it is the small acts that are consistently followed through on and acknowledged. Like when you have those small acts of kindness and then you go, oh, I did that thing for myself, and how did it make me feel? It was lovely. Like, it was really lovely. Okay. That actually creates new neural pathways. It starts to build a new habit of thought more than actually the big changes. So
yeah, all these small things combined lead to big change.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Why do you think so many women, as you mentioned in the beginning, find it easier to be kind to others than to themselves? Why do you think that is?
So some of it is, I think, social programming. Some of it is, so we're socially programmed. That's what women are for, is to bring care to others. Some of it is because I think we see an inherent worthiness in others. We see their beautiful light shining through. We see the good that they bring to the world. And so we naturally want to support that. So the line between what we see that they are and what we're compelled to support is a straight line, right? Like we understand it and we give. And on the other hand, the line between what we see of ourselves, what we think we deserve, right there is all muddled up. Like we're very conditional. Yeah. We're conditional with how we see our own worthiness. And so then if it's conditional, it's you have to achieve all this stuff in order to be worthy of that bit of care that another person, I see them worthy of it in this moment. And so I naturally give it.
Yeah.
So it's one line is straight. The other one's like this
zigzag,
big old zigzag. And so it's rerouting or straightening out that line in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Now, this is a great segue into the next question, because we talk about the culture that we're in, that hustle culture bullshit, and the rewards, the culture that rewards overachieving and hustle, and especially for women. How do we begin to unlearn the idea that rest is a weakness?
I think for me, it always comes back to really assessing the changes that happen. So I've had many very high achieving women clients who are in that have to do more. I just have to do more in order to get there or whatever. Keep going, reach farther. Yeah. Try to be more. Where self-kindness really comes into that is starting to affirm that sense of self-worthiness. If you never did a single other thing in your life, there's worthiness there. So that's one side of it. And then the other side of it is when someone starts to practice a little bit of care, usually true care has a restfulness to it. Even if it's exercise, but that exercise isn't, I'm pushing hard because I hate this body and I'm making myself do this. The exercise that's really coming from self-kindness is, God, I love that feeling when I have a good stretch, and I'm really going to make sure I get that feeling today because I deserve it. So when they're bringing in those elements of rest and pause and spaciousness, and then my suggestion is always to pay attention to what happens after, because the proof is in the pudding, right?
As they say, yeah.
As they say, pay attention. Yep. So when you did that, when you went a whole week where every day you did some little things for yourself that weren't about hustle and weren't about push, what did your week feel like? What did you accomplish? Where's your motivation level? All of those things. And when they actually do it and look at it, they're like, wow, I was so productive. I slept so well. My mind was clear because I had taken deeper care of myself. So then I'm like, okay, next time your inner critic says you have to push to achieve, you now have facts to answer that inner critic with. You can
Yes,
say,
I
okay,
love that.
Mosquito, I know you think that I have to push harder, but I have it. And I look down because I'm like, look in your journal or wherever and see, yeah, actually, I achieved and accomplished so much. And even some of the choices were actually better than when I would have just pushed, because they were coming from a deeper place of, yeah, this is meaningful to me. So I'm going to
place of
lean
kindness.
in. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you think the world would look like if more women began practicing deep self-kindness as a revolutionary act?
Yeah, this is a big why for me of why I do this. Okay, what the world would look like. So you picture all of these amazing women who give so much, but they struggle to give to themselves, which also means they struggle to build their particular genius and their light and all that stuff. So if we start to build a world where they're feeding their sense of self, they're giving more, they're expanding their own talents more, they're lifting more people up, men, women, all genders, right? We all lift together. Yeah. So it would be a world where relationships would thrive more. There would be more genius to come to the greater good. There would be kids growing up in households where they were taught from a very early age, if you never do anything from this moment, you're worthy and you're also capable. You're capable of pushing yourself, of trying new things, of failing and learning and getting up, and like it would just ripple out. And it has actually, and that's one of my most beautiful things from my work is I get to hear back from clients on the ripples that have come from their own progress and seeing how one person feeling better within their own mind, how that ripples out and affects so many other people. Like it's
women have the power and the ability to change so much in this world because they are the lifeblood. You mentioned kids. Women are typically raise the children. So if the woman is happy at home raising her kid, that ripples out to the kids, that ripples out to the community, that ripples out to the country, the world. Like it is such a massive ripple effect out to the world. So if we do give more to our women and invest more in our women to enable them to do these things, it will undoubtedly, I wholeheartedly believe it will change the fucking world.
Yeah.
It really will.
And
it is so massive.
So true. And there's lots of statistics around that. Yeah. I also believe that the identities of men will also benefit. Right?
For sure.
But
absolutely.
There's I think we're in a lot of that right now because women are leveling up and expanding their senses of themselves and their capabilities and everything. And we are so ready to have that also help men. And unfortunately, we've got men that are like, no, we want you to come back down because then that makes us feel higher.
We need to shift. We need to shift that for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
If you had to describe self-kindness using the language of the body, not the mind, what would it sound or feel like, in your opinion?
Self-kindness feels like an open chest that can breathe deep, relaxed shoulders, and a body that is capable at its highest level. Whatever any given body's capabilities are, the body is loved and supported and capable. I close my eyes to imagine this because I'm trying to get out of my head, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest one is there's a release of tension.
I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. If you could whisper one truth into the ear of every woman out there struggling to feel like they're enough, what would it be?
That's so tough. Let's see. Maybe you deserve the same level of love and care that you give to everybody in your life.
That's powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Cari. I love that. Now, as mentioned off the top of the interview, you're also a writer.
Yeah.
What has writing revealed to you about your own humanity that has surprised you the most?
I think it's the power of imagination. Writing for me is just, it's such a place of play to go into my mind and my creative flow, and what comes out of it is just so varied and multifaceted. And so I think in other parts of my life, I think I'm pretty linear, like I can do this, I can't do that sort of relationship to self. But then when I'm playing in writing and I'm crafting something, the power of, it's not just the mind, it's mind, body, spirit, all mixing together. And I think then there's also a tapping into the energy that's around us. And we are infinite. I don't know that we're infinite. We're so much more unlimited in our capability than we realize. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. What part of your identity has shaped your voice as a writer? What part have you had to fight to keep?
Part of my identity. I don't know. What's coming to mind is like my child self. The part of me that didn't have to do things just because they had a clear purpose and they worked towards a goal and all the kind of adult thinking.
Yeah, adulting stuff.
Yeah, adulting stuff. Writing, I think, has really kept alive that part of me that feels the worthiness of being messy and playing.
Because life
is messy, and being creative should be messy.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the part really that when I'm tapping into that, when I'm writing, I'm doing something so much more interesting than when I'm adulting as I'm writing. Yeah.
If your writing were a mirror, what kind of reflection would you hope women see staring back at them?
Something expansive and beautiful but unstructured, that they can see what they want to see in, and that whatever they see is, if it's meaningful, then it's right.
Yeah.
Something. Okay. Yeah. The cover of my laptop, which of course I can't show you, but it's a sticker of just a bunch of paint, just like swirling and mixing, and there's so much beauty in it without anything being prescribed. It's not a vase of flowers that's beautiful because it's successfully a vase of flowers. It's
right. Yeah.
So I think
it just is.
It just is. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful, Cari?
I guess this is where I have to lean into what people tell me, because otherwise I don't think I would. My ability to be present to someone and to listen deeply beyond whatever mask is naturally there, because we're so used to walking around the world with like masks of I'm okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So
absolutely.
I think that, yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking of success, what does that word mean to you? How do you define success?
It goes back to the ripple out into the world. That's success for me. When I know that there are people walking around more capable of tapping into their own worthiness and resilience and all that stuff, and they have the tools, and they're then spreading that out to whoever, is in their orbit. Yeah, that's success for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment. It's having the tools and making them your own. Yeah, I can't empower somebody else. You can only ever empower yourself. And I can provide tools, options, supports, everything. And it's the work that each person does to dig in, try it, screw up, learn again, try it.
Because undoubtedly you will.
Undoubtedly. And make it your own, so that no matter what comes your way, you've got this stuff inside that you know you have. That's kind of that's the definition for me of empowerment.
Beautiful. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3, 4-word answer type thing. Okay. If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
I think it would be, teaching self-kindness.
Okay. If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
I wonder how inherently worthy they are of goodness.
What is one thing you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance?
My giggle.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Warm.
If you had a theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what song would that be?
Oh, God. This Girl's on Fire.
I love it. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. If you could take one feeling or one belief and bottle it up and give it to people, what would it be?
One belief or one feeling. To feel how we are seen by those we love.
Beautiful.
Turn it around and actually feel within.
Yeah, love that. What is an unexpected blessing or occurrence in your life that you're grateful for?
Unexpected in some ways, being a mother. Yeah.
Okay.
So much of my life, I didn't think that was going to be my path. But it is just it's fantastic to watch humans decide and fumble through becoming who they're meant to be. And I get to be there for the whole thing and support them. And it's just amazing.
What is one lesson your career has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life?
Find what lights you up. And it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. And lean in.
Love that. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Is there a downside to self-kindness?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, shit. What's the downside? The downside is that you can see how much it's lacking in others, but you can't do anything about it. There's not much you can do about it because the work is so individual.
Okay. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Maya Angelou. I would have, her poetry is so inspiring to me. Her character, her work would just be, a wonderful conversation.
Okay. If you could go back, Cari, and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Be weirder.
Okay, I love it. Lastly, Cari, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your people, your corner of the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Wow, Brad, man, you really hit the questions. Life is short and precious. The only thing we ever have is this moment. And in this moment, you have as much ability to bring goodness and to feel goodness as you choose. So make the most of it.
Ooh, powerful, beautiful way to end the interview. Cari, thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. It has been an absolute pleasure having the opportunity to sit down and speak with you and share in the story and your journey and the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. I appreciate you, and I'm grateful to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. Thank you so much for your time.
You're so welcome, Brad. I was hoping to get to ask you some questions, but your questions were so good that I didn't get a chance, but I appreciate you too.
Could you share with the people tuning in where they can connect with you if they want to learn more about the work you do or they want to work with you?
For sure. So best place is either social media as the Self-Kindness Coach or my website, cariframe.com. CARIFRAME.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Cari. I appreciate you. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Cari Frame. She is a self-kindness coach and a writer. Thanks so much, Cari. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Brad. You too.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca. Follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.